neutral and white pipe bark, because those are two completely different, right? So basically as close as possible. Then you enter your blade as much as you can here. See that I'm almost going to the half of the trunk. Can you see that? That's because that's intentional, because I want to be depth on that. And obviously this is a really young material, right? So the only thing that I'm potentially going to do before I remove the blade is just taking off some of the soil, just to avoid that this gets dirty. Okay, so have my blade there. What I'm going to prepare as well is another set of the tape. In this case, since this is going to be holding, not, you know, wrapping, I don't need to pre-stretch it, basically, okay? So what I'm going to do in this case is removing my blade like this. And you can see that that's the problem with, it's a little smaller, right? This is a little, you know, it's a little too short, right? So I damage a little bit of, on the upper portion. But, you know, the idea is that I should have only one clip cut. Now that I'm holding this, I grab my scion, and I said I need to put cambium with cambium, which means I cannot put it in the middle. I need to put it just to the left or to the right. To the left or to the right, sorry for that, dyslexia. So I enter my scion as deep as I can, and now, second try, sorry. And now you can see that it's matching from the side perfectly, okay? So now my next steps is going to be grab my grafting tape and start to wrap it up as stretch as possible. I want to have hold on this. And I want to secure both things together so they don't move until everything is firmly developed. Okay? So
you didn't need a piece of wire or something.
That's another technique. That's so if I do it, let me put it in this way. Full Japanese,
Okay.
you don't need a piece of wire.
Okay.
If I do it on our technique, quote unquote, you put a piece of wire. Why the piece of wire, usually they don't put it because, you know, if you see here, it's already secure. But the piece of wire is going to give you a little insurance in case you want to hold it even more. You don't want to, you know, be too strained on holding this. Just one little wrap, and now you have it extra secure. Now the last portion of this, or the last piece of this, is we have cut paste
Right here, on one side.
inside. So just to secure the entire system, what we usually do, if you see there's a little hole there, which the moisture, or actually the water, could be entering into that. Just because we have this, whenever we water, we may be having a few bits there, basically, right? So what we want to do in those cases is sealing that, so every part of the system is fully compartmentalized. So you put it from one side, and you put it from the other side, and that's all. Now it's fully sealed, fully secure, ready to be there for at least 1 or 2 months until we see it done. Okay?
So in a couple of months, it should be showing signs that it's.
Sorry, what?
In a couple of months, it should.
Yes, the key factor that you're going to watch first is inside of this. If you see small water drops, basically, if there are some water drops, that means that this is breathing.
Okay.
And if this is breathing, this is absorbing moisture or releasing moisture, that's a good sign. That's what you are looking for. If you don't see any moisture inside of that, that means that something is not right there.
Okay.
Now, after 6-7 months, you're going to see that the inside of this, because of all the moisture, is going to start to get darker. Because there is bacteria inside of that, so they are going to start to produce algae, or you are going to start to see that it's like rotting.
Okay.
But not necessarily. If this is living, that is not necessarily rotting, but you see that dark color. If you see that dark color, the best thing that you could do is grabbing your knife, opening a little bit, because you need to release some moisture.
Okay.
After, I would say, 5-6 months, depending on how hot the days are. You don't want to open too much if the days are too hot, but you want to start to open it a little bit.
Okay.
If everything went well, after 1 year, this should be fully removed. Okay, the wrapping should be fully removed. So if the scion didn't break it, you could fully remove it entirely. If that stock after 1 year was still living, you could fully remove it entirely. And after the second year is when this is going to be fully taken. So you leave it 1 full year. If everything went well, you could remove the remnants of the plastic wrap, sorry. And after that year, you leave it another full year of growth before you say, hey, success. Because that second year is also a critical moment, because it's where every piece of water and every piece of nutrients is coming from this stuff rather than from here. So you need 2 full years in order to say, hey, this is a success. Okay?